Caitlin Clark reminded everybody who she is in the Fever win over the Wings in what was a blowout victory. One where Clark didn't even shoot the ball well again, but she completely dominated the game and shows the difference between her and everyone else through her playmaking.
And the Indiana Fever have gone from basketball's favorite punchline to the league's most fascinating storyline faster than you can say playoff contention. And at the center of this typhoon of transformation, none other than our favorite corn-fed phenom, Caitlin Clark, who's finally been unleashed like a basketball kraken after months of being treated like the team's awkward +1.
Hey, Caitlin Clark said, folks, forget what she's talking about. Today, I'm going to run the show. Today, I'm going to control the pace. Today, I'm going to dictate how this team plays basketball. And in the first half, we saw exactly that. Natasha Howard running the floor. Yeah, you heard that correct. Natasha Howard running the floor. Yeah, I shit you. Folks, fans have a voice. Sometimes when the noise gets too loud and they're tired of hearing from it, they say, let's just buy in a little bit. Let's let Caitlin Clark be Caitlin Clark. Let's not pull the reins back too much. And in that first half, we saw exactly that.
Let's rewind to just a few weeks ago, shall we? The Fever locker room had more tension than a family Thanksgiving dinner after someone brings up politics. The vibes were colder than Antarctica during a power outage. The chemistry was so non-existent it would have flunked out of high school science class. But now they're moving like a well-oiled machine. If that machine was designed by NASA engineers with a side hustle in basketball wizardry,
that's what we're talking about when we are referring to Caitlin Clark running the show. Caitlin Clark running the offense, being the innovator of offense, the distributor of offense for the Indiana Fever. This is exactly what we mean right here. This game was an absolute blowout. Dallas Wings didn't know what hit them. Everybody ate in this game.
The turning point? When DeWanna Bonner packed her bags and took her me-first mentality with her. Bonner strutted into that locker room like she was the headliner at Coachella, only to discover she was actually booked for an open mic night at a deserted coffee shop. She tried to be the centerpiece of a puzzle that already had Caitlin Clark's name engraved in the middle. It was like watching someone try to replace the Mona Lisa with a selfie and expecting the Louvre to be cool with it.
So, Indiana Fever just released her, cut their losses, right? And I hear these analysts saying stuff like, they should have held out for a trade, or I wish they had got a trade for her. She was literally untradeable, right? Like, what team would give up any of their core players for a player that's past their twilight? They picked up R.A. McDonald, or re-signed R.A. McDonald, who we all saw was a spark plug just a couple weeks ago. She's an upgrade compared to DeWanna Bonner.
Bonner's departure wasn't just a personnel change, it was an exorcism. The moment she cleared out her locker, you could practically hear the collective sigh of relief so loud it registered on weather radars as an unexpected breeze.
Because we've seen a huge change. We've seen a huge change from the Indiana Fever over the last 6 quarters. And especially in the fourth quarter, in the Dallas Wings game. And there were 2 players in particular that I have said that their style of play, regardless of how they're playing, is not going to work long term. And those 2 players had unbelievable games yesterday.
If you are enjoying, please subscribe. The Fever didn't just lose a player, they shed dead weight that was anchoring them to the bottom of the standings. It was addition by subtraction, like removing a splinter that's been festering for months. Suddenly, the team could breathe again without inhaling the suffocating fumes of ego and entitlement. And what happened next? The skies cleared, the birds sang, and the Indiana Fever remembered they were actually allowed to play basketball like they enjoyed it. Without Bonner's gravitational pull of negativity, the team's energy shifted faster than a TikTok trend. Players who looked like they were attending a funeral during games were suddenly high-fiving, chest-bumping, and playing with the kind of joy that makes fans remember why they fell in love with basketball in the first place.
This team is like a sorority group. I'm not joking. They are so closely bonded, like the energy that all of them have with each other. There is not like where you see and someone looks a little disconnected. This is literally the most tight-knit team. I'm telling you, and I actually think all the discourse or the people trying to create discourse offline or outside the locker room only makes them tighter. And throughout the training session, I saw multiple times where, they were like laughing and mucking around and just completely like high-fiving and actually speaking of the high fives.
Enter Sophie Cunningham, the human equivalent of a triple espresso shot in basketball form. While everyone was busy writing eulogies for the Fever's season, Cunningham grabbed the team by their collective jerseys and basically screamed, "We're not done yet," in their faces. She didn't just step up, she launched herself into leadership orbit with the subtlety of a fireworks display in a library. Cunningham became the team's unofficial hype woman, defensive drill sergeant, and locker room therapists all rolled into one blonde tornado of intensity. When the team needed a spark, she wasn't offering matches, she was throwing Molotov cocktails of motivation. During timeouts, while other players were catching their breath, Cunningham was drawing up plays in the air with the frantic energy of someone trying to explain the plot of Inception in 30 seconds.
Play was probably the standout play in the game, in my mind. Clark with the big-time rejection near the rim. And then the get-ahead pass to Sophie Cunningham, touchdown. And Sophie Cunningham has come into her own as of late. But it's just beautiful. Get it out, get it up, bucket. And, that's just something others cannot do.
Her most crucial contribution, recognizing that integrating Caitlin Clark into the system wasn't optional, it was essential. While others saw Clark as competition, Cunningham saw her as the skeleton key that could unlock the Fever's potential. She became the bridge between old guard and new phenom, translating Clark's basketball brilliance to teammates who had been too busy protecting their territory to notice they were sitting on a gold mine. During practice sessions, Cunningham would be the first to celebrate when Clark threaded an impossible pass through the defense. "That's what I'm talking about," she'd scream, making sure everyone understood that this wasn't just good basketball, this was evolutionary basketball. She turned appreciation for Clark's game into a team-wide movement, converting skeptics into believers faster than a cult leader with free snacks.
All right, everyone who said that the Fever played better without Caitlin Clark, come to the front because I'm going to slap you in the face. Fever just won 102-89 against the Dallas Wings. Congratulations to Fever. They killed it with their old and trusty playbook of just rim running. And Dallas Wings, Chris Koklanis, have you never seen a Fever game before? They're fast in transition, huge with the long bombs. Caitlin Clark is there. Run to the other side quickly. That's where they got the majority of their points. Poor Paige Beckers. You're such a huge talent, and you're just drowning with this terrible coaching. It breaks my heart, but it was an incredible game until the last quarter when it was very clear that the Fever would take it.
Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark was undergoing her own metamorphosis. After months of being treated like a tourist in her own locker room, Clark finally reclaimed her throne. Not by demanding it, but by earning it through a combination of resilience, talent, and the kind of work ethic that makes Olympic athletes look like weekend warriors. The Clark we're seeing now isn't just playing basketball. She's conducting a symphony where every pass is a note and every three-pointer is a crescendo. She's no longer the rookie trying to find her place. She's the centerpiece who makes everyone around her better. The transformation has been so complete that watching old Fever games from earlier this season feels like watching footage from an alternate universe where joy and basketball excellence were banned by constitutional amendment.
Caitlin Clark now has the 5th most double-doubles with points and assists in WNBA. The 5th most double-doubles with points and assists in WNBA. And we're only in year 2? And we've missed half the season so far? Oh, no. Oh, that record's going to be broken any day now.
Clark's leadership style isn't about screaming or dominating. It's about elevating. She doesn't demand the spotlight, she installs additional lighting for everyone else. Her passes aren't just accurate, they're prescient, arriving at teammates' hands before they even realize they're opened. She's playing chess while the defense is still setting up the checkerboard, 3 moves ahead and accelerating. The team now orbits around Clark not because they've been ordered to, but because gravity naturally pulls objects toward the most massive presence. And make no mistake, Clark's basketball IQ and talent create their own gravitational field. Teammates who once looked hesitant to pass her the ball now seek her out like she's holding the last bottle of water in a desert. The trust is so complete that when Clark calls for the ball in crunch time, you can see 5 heads nod in unison before the pass is even made.
Even with their actual coaches and their training staff, like I've got some awesome videos of Keith training, like KK training Dantas, and you will see that they're laughing and they're having a good time. And I just think that is like the energy that you want, right? You want to create a locker room where it feels like family and you have each other's back no matter what, and noise gets loud and noise gets disruptive, but as long as you can stay together closely knit, then you can drown that out. I genuinely feel that.
What we're witnessing isn't just a team getting hot at the right time, it's a complete identity transformation. The Fever have gone from that team with Caitlin Clark to that team with Caitlin Clark. The capitalization isn't just for emphasis, it's to accurately represent the seismic shift in how they're perceived. They've transformed from a curiosity to a contender, from a sideshow to the main event. Their playoff push isn't just about making the postseason, it's about announcing to the basketball world that the revolution has arrived ahead of schedule. While pundits were penciling them in for contention in a few years, the Fever decided that patience is overrated and the future is now.
Yes, the shooting's not there yet, but that will come. But being a playmaker is more than just scoring the ball, and dropping 13 dimes and getting 5 steals is amazing work. I mean, look at this dime, full court pass. This is incredibly hard. If you haven't ever played basketball, this pass to Cunningham is so hard. And she was doing this all game. Here's another one in the 4th quarter to Kelsey Mitchell for an easy layup. With CC back in the lineup, this Fever team is starting to click, and they are becoming a force. They have 2 key games before the All-Star game, and I think if they can win both of those, this team's going to be right in there for the second half of the season.
They're playing with the urgency of people who just discovered their Netflix free trial ends tomorrow and still have 3 seasons to binge. The statistics tell part of the story. Improved shooting percentages, better defensive rotations, more assists, fewer turnovers. But they miss the intangible transformation. The Fever now play with a swagger that can't be quantified. They walk into arenas like they own the building and the mortgage is paid off. The intimidation factor has flipped. Opponents who once circled Fever games as easy wins now approach them with the caution of someone disarming a bomb. And the beautiful part? Everyone is contributing. This isn't the Caitlin Clark show featuring the Indiana Fever as the backup band. It's an ensemble cast where everyone gets their moment in the spotlight. Kelsey Mitchell is scoring with the efficiency of a German train schedule. Nalissa Smith is rebounding like the ball personally offended her family. Aaliyah Boston is protecting the rim like it contains state secrets. And Lexi Hull is hitting threes with the casual confidence of someone who doesn't understand what pressure feels like.
Clark, after the game, was talking about how so many different players were in double figures. I mean, Kelsey Mitchell, another awesome game. 8 of 12 from the floor, 20 points. Natasha Howard, 18 points, 8 of 9 from the floor. I was critical of Natasha Howard in the last game. Got to give it up when it's due. If she can come into her own with Clark on the floor, that's a whole different ball game. Aaliyah Boston, 17 points. You know, Clark was the 4th leading scorer with 14 points. Sophie Cunningham had 13 points off the bench. 102 points scored for the Fever.
Let's be real. A few weeks ago, mentioning Fever and championship in the same sentence would have gotten you a wellness check from concerned friends. Now, the whispers have started. Could this team, this collection of misfits and cast-offs centered around a rookie phenom, actually make a run at the title? Is Caitlin Clark's first championship going to arrive with the punctuality of an overachiever showing up an hour early to a job interview? The odds are still long. The obstacles are still numerous. But something magical is happening in Indianapolis, something that transcends statistical analysis and logical prediction. The Fever are playing with house money and the confidence of card counters. They're the basketball equivalent of that scene in every heist movie where someone says, "This is so crazy, it just might work." And at the center of it all is Caitlin Clark, smiling that Midwestern smile that somehow manages to be both humble and terrifying. She's not just changing a franchise, she's altering the trajectory of an entire league. While some players are still arguing about who deserves the spotlight, Clark is busy installing additional lighting for everyone.
All right, guys, this game got real crazy. But let me tell you, 64 points by the Fever, and it's all because of that lady right there walking off the court, Caitlin Clark. Look, now you got 3 players in double figures. You got Howard, you got Mitchell, but you got her assists. She got her assists, man. She should have had 10 assists already, bro. Dantes fumbling the bag, Kelsey Mitchell eating a wide open layup. Bro, you messing up her stats. But anyway, but she got 10 points, yo. That's pretty good in the first half. Plus a whole bunch of assists. She got 7 assists.
So buckle up, basketball fans. The Fever's redemption arc isn't just a feel-good story. It's a warning shot across the bow of the WNBA establishment. The message is clear. The future isn't coming. It's already here, wearing number 22 and throwing no-look passes that bend the laws of physics. The Indiana Fever aren't just winning games. They're rewriting what's possible when talent meets opportunity and ego takes a backseat to excellence. And that 2-game winning streak? That's just the appetizer. The main course is being prepared, and it promises to be a feast that the basketball world won't soon forget. The Fever aren't just hot. They're combustible, and the only question remaining is whether the rest of the league has enough fire extinguishers to handle what's coming. Because Caitlin Clark hasn't just found her voice in the WNBA, she's found her kingdom. And from the looks of it, her reign is just beginning. Long live the queen, and may the rest of the league prepare accordingly. The Fever has broken, and what's emerging from the other side isn't just a basketball team, it's a basketball revelation.